It's a SMME XChange here on Metro FM Talk, and tonight we, I guess, do a follow-on of a story we had done a few months ago with the South African National Roads Agency Limited, SANRAL, SOC, and we had spoken to Mr. Ismail Essa, who is the transformation manager out at SANRAL, and how they are supporting small, in particular micro enterprises in the built environment, infrastructure and construction sector. And he said SANRAL is determined to create such opportunities. And if you didn't miss that chat, you can find it on metrofm.co.za, where you can get hold of our podcasts. But here's an opportunity to just recap. So that was the recap of the discussion we had. And one gets a sense from that discussion that, yes, there would be a main contractor, but that main contractor, an obligation would be placed on them to have subsequently other contractors who would be sub-contractors to that main contractor in a bid, of course, to diversify the supply mix that gets an opportunity to benefit from some of these opportunities. And joining me on the line tonight is one of the actors involved here who can tell us a bit more about the work that they are doing, and I guess to what degree that is a stepping stone to higher value work, improvement in their grading, and of course improvement in their operations. Tshepo Rankganyane is the founder of Makuku Enterprises and joins me now on the line. Tshepo, good evening, bro. Welcome.
Good evening. Greetings to your listeners as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Just briefly, before we get, I guess, into the chat about some of the work that you're doing, in particular the SANRAL work, give us a brief background on Makuku Enterprises, the work that you do in the built environment.
Well, Makuku Enterprises is a company that I founded in 2020.
Okay.
And then it's construction-based, but it's not limited to just that. I do other services as well, but it's primarily based in construction. Yes. So hence the opportunity as an opportunity when SANRAL, so the principal contractor, advertised, and I saw an opportunity to venture into that space. And having acquired some experience, of course, after working in a lot of this project as a laborer, I decided that I might as well go ahead and do this myself, since I'm equipped with the necessary experience and knowledge.
So in a way, you are contracted, I guess, in some of this work to a main contractor.
Yes.
And I guess they, I assume, would have a higher grading to you. Well, what grading are you in now, and what are some of the works that you are involved in?
A CIBD level grade 1 CE.
Okay, civil engineering, yeah?
Yeah, civil engineering, which qualifies me for packages that require level 2 CE. And specifically what I do is that I do edge break repairs and edge build-up removals.
What's that? What's edge build-up? What's that?
Edge build-up is what you would normally see is the grasses that are just on the edge of the road.
Oh,
so
okay.
My job actually is to remove all that grass, and so that it does not grow to an extent that the motorists do no longer see the guardrails that are on the bridges.
And one of the things Ismail was telling us, when we spoke to him last year, was that, and you would have heard it in that clip, is that all of these projects are ongoing because there has to be ongoing maintenance of our national road network.
Yes.
And of course, as you say, the edge of the road, the sideways and all of that. And how many of you are subcontractors to this main contractor?
In our region, it's a total of 12 companies, but then they've been appointed based on qualifications in terms of CIBD grading.
I see.
So in our region, it's a total of 12 companies.
How many? 12?
12.
Okay, all right. And then, on average, how many people would be employed in each? How many do you employ in yours?
One company would employ 5 or more employees, depending on their scope of work.
I see. Okay.
So the bigger the project, the more people you're going to need, and then the more unemployment that opportunity creates for a lot of people in the area.
I see. Okay. All right. So in a way, and I think this is the big question that many South Africans are asking themselves. You are at CIDB grade level 1 now. It's a bit of a chicken and egg problem. You need to get more work under the belt of your firm in order to go up the grading. Talk to us about that.
Actually, one of the positives in as far as this project are concerned is that, especially with the package that I got, because the packages differ depending on one's CIBD grading. So an opportunity that this kind of project presents for a company like myself is that I get to grade from level 1 all the way to level 4. So with the work and the contract value that has been agreed on, so I get to move from 1 to 4, which then qualifies me for bigger projects.
Okay. And I guess, these work packages would be determined by who? By the main contractor or by the client?
No, the work is determined by the client, and then the client has to relay the message and the work to the subcontractor, depending on the demand and what it is that is needed in that area at that particular time. But like you indicated with road maintenance, it's an ongoing thing, it's a lifetime thing. So you basically do almost everything on the road, but you be specifically assigned to a certain scope of work, but you do almost everything.
Then I guess the other element that is of interest is, to what degree do projects of this kind create for your business enough cash flows to invest, I guess, in other things? So say tomorrow you are, CIDB grade level 3, but you need some capital equipment, or you need more sort of or other any working capital support in order to take on more complex work packages. What kind of support have you been able to access for that? The cash flow that is going to come in with. And for you, your business started out in 2020. What do you see in the crystal ball? What do you see? And how many other contracts, aside from this one, do you have? Just out of interest.
This is actually my first major contract, and then it's currently the only one for now. I'm looking for other avenues as well. But then, in terms of the future, unfortunately for me, I've had people in my circle and close associates that have started their companies from scratch and went on to become one of the biggest companies and reputable companies in the area, even in the province. So that's actually the goal for me for now, to see myself growing and qualifying for bigger projects as well.
If we know there are all manner of support instruments that are out there. The supply chains of entities like Sanral are but one, but there are many others. Voluntary rebuilding program, micro enterprise support, and so on. From where you are sitting, what are the things that you think in the short term are priorities that might ensure you can take on more contracts and also, I guess, improve your grading?
For now, what can improve in as far as that is concerned is that if one can continue getting more work and acquiring the necessary experience for projects that are going to come in, because the more you grade, obviously, the more you qualify for bigger jobs, and then it gets difficult in as far as finances are concerned, and then there's just a lot of things that are involved.
Yeah, and when you say there's a lot of things involved when it comes to contracts and the financing, what do you mean?
As you grow as a contractor, obviously, and qualify for much bigger projects, those kind of projects usually, and half the time, it involves machinery, which is very expensive for one. So, in order for you to pursue and continue with those type of projects, that you need to be financially stable. You need the financial muscle to be able to fund this project and be able to continue.
Tshepo, thank you very much for taking time out to speak to us, and we wish you and your team all of the best as you continue to do the work. I guess congratulations on this piece of work, and may it be the start of much more by way of work, and may you expand, of course, even that headcount, because we want to get more and more people into work.
Yes, no, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much. That there was the story of Tshepo Rankganyane, founder of Makuku Enterprises, and it's always good, I guess, to see the other side. When we spoke to Ismail last year, it was really trying to make sense of what it is that they do for small, medium-sized enterprises via their main contractors, who then subcontract some of these SMMEs. And here we have an example via this one micro enterprise, which level 1 CIDB, very much at the start of their journey in the world of construction. And certainly hope that in the next year, Sabes Tetenyi City level 3, level 4, and so on.